Now after 2 days will be the Passover, and the chief priests and the elders of the people were gathered together to the court of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas. And they took counsel together that they might take Jesus by subtlety and kill him. But they said, "Not during the feast, lest a tumult arise among the people." Now when Jesus was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came to him a woman, having an alabaster cruse of exceedingly precious ointment, and she poured it on his head, as he sat to eat. But when the disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, "To what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much, and given to the poor." But Jesus, perceiving it, said to them, "Why do you trouble the woman? For she has worked a good work on me. For you always have the poor with you, but me you do not always have. For in that she poured this ointment on my body, she did it to prepare me for burial. Truly I say to you, wherever this good news will be preached in the whole world, that also which this woman has done will be spoken of for a memorial of her." Then one of the 12, who was called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests, that he might deliver him to them. And they, when they heard it, were glad, and promised to give him money. And from that time he sought opportunity to deliver him to them. Now on the first day of unleavened bread the disciples came to Jesus, saying, "Where do you want us to prepare for you to eat the Passover?" And he said, "Go into the city to such a man, and say to him, The teacher says, My time is at hand. I keep the Passover at your house with my disciples." And the disciples did as Jesus appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now when evening came, he was sitting at meat with the 12. And as they were eating, he said, "Truly I say to you, that one of you will deliver me up." And they were exceedingly sorrowful, and began to say to him each one, "Is it I, Lord?" And he answered and said, "He who dipped his hand with me in the dish, the same will deliver me up. The Son of Man goes, even as it is written of him. But woe to that man through whom the Son of Man is delivered up. Good were it for that man if he had not been born." And as they were eating, Jesus took bread and blessed and broke it, and he gave to the disciples, and said, "Take, eat, this is my body." And he took a cup, and gave thanks, and gave to them, saying, "This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many. But I say to you, I will not drink from now on of this fruit of the vine, until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom." Then came to him the sons of Zebedee, asking a certain thing of him. And he said to them, "What do you want?" They say to him, "Say that we may sit, one at your right hand and one at your left hand, in your kingdom." But Jesus answered and said, "You don't know what you ask. Are you able to drink the cup that I am about to drink?" They say to him, "We are able." He says to them, "My cup indeed you will drink, but to sit at my right hand and on my left hand, this is not mine to give, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared." And when the 10 heard it, they were moved with indignation concerning the 2 brothers. But Jesus called them to him, and said, "The kings of the Gentiles have lordship over them, and those who have authority over them are called benefactors. But you will not be so. But he who is the greater among you, let him become as the younger, and he who is chief as he who serves. For which is greater, he who sits at meat, or he who serves? Isn't it he who sits at meat? But I am among you as he who serves. But you are those who have continued with me in my trials. And I appoint to you, even as my Father appointed to me, a kingdom, that you may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and you will sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel." Then Jesus says to them, "All you will be offended in me this night. For it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered abroad." But Peter answered and said to him, "If all will be offended in you, I will never be offended." Jesus said to him, "Truly I say to you, that this night, before the rooster crows, you will deny me thrice." Peter says to him, "Even if I must die with you, yet I will not deny you." Likewise also said all the disciples.